Okay, welcome back to ReZero Anime Review, episode number 7. This one discussing the last 3 episodes of season 1 of the TV show. Pretty much for these episodes, episode 23 finishes up book 8 and episodes 24 and 25 adapt most of book 9. But there's a little more I'll get to in a minute. Though in the case of book 9 itself, they only adapted in just 2 episodes. Well, in the original cut of the episode, they adapted the first 5 chapters. In the director's cut, they adapted the interlude as well. But here's something quite interesting, though, about the last 2 episodes. At the time the episodes were released, the 9th book had not been officially been released yet. Yeah, 9th book was released after the show was concluded. Though my personal guess is the reason why that, from what I can tell from the novel, I read online they did some original stuff. Though it's similar to what I saw what they presented in the light novel, and my guess is that probably in Japan, like with manga chapters, the books themselves basically released like chapters like whenever the writer comes up with them. And since the season's concluded, the season concluded in September of 2016. September 2016 is when the series was concluded. On actually September 20 started 4th, 2016, and it's 19th. Yeah, they did release an OVA a month after the season concluded. But yeah, that was the last thing they produced. I'll get to that one in the next video. Now, since the season's concluded, the book series has released 13 books since then. But here's something quite strange, though, about this. Okay, in the case of ReZero, in Japan, they released 22 volumes over there, which is basically what the series is right now. Here in the United States, guess how many of the 22 books have been released in English right now? Officially, the first 12 books. Yeah, and the next book comes out a month from now. Which I'm like, really? And also, here's kind of the thing. When the first book was released, it was actually in July of 2016, while in the case of in Japan, it was released in January of 2014. Why would they wait 2 years to release the first book over here? I have no idea. Yeah, and I've tried to look up online to see any more translations from books 13 to about 22. There isn't. There is not. I'm not sure why the books are taking so long to release over here, which is quite strange. In the case of the episodes themselves, well, basically over the course of these few episodes, we kind of clear up something that happened with the end of episode 22, where you have Rem showed up and looked like she was going to do something with Subaru. Yeah, it turns out it was actually part of an illusion casted by a member of the Witches cult. Yep. And there was a little red ball spirit which showed up previously in the previous episode, and this is actually cast by Julius. Yep, Julius. Yep, and Rem shows up because Subaru thinks that he has deceived her because of a blank letter. Yeah, that was actually not right. Yeah, that was just a misunderstanding. And they do, and of course they do the whole return by death. They use a couple times in these set episodes, but in the case of this one, they actually do something that they haven't done this since, like when they adapted book 5. Yeah, when they return back. So, after they explain that, he kind of goes to the village to explain they need to evacuate the village, but they're very hesitant about it. And that's when, like, the witches cult, of course, they go and have Wilhelm, basically basically the plan is simply to have Julius and Fair, I think his name is, I think it's the cat girl. Yeah, they cut low something later, I'll get to that in a minute. To go and explain this to Emilia, but Ferris decides to drag him in and thinks it's a love affair because people mistake this guy for a girl. Probably because of the mannerisms. And it turns out this guy is in league with the Witches cult. And then all of a sudden, like, they find his device, and then the Picard explodes. And apparently he can grow back clothes, so basically put on cloth on himself, and like half the village has been eliminated. And Wilhelm's basically doing the best they can to eliminate another one of Portuguese's fingers. Yeah, despite the fact they are eliminated, but nope, he's still around. Somehow. He's possessing people, that's how he is. Yeah, the thing up then at one point the thing about the one all of a sudden he possesses Subaru. Yes, he possesses Subaru. And he orders Ferris to kill him. He does. And it resets. First time in a little while. This time it resets straight back to right after they had the battle with the white whale. Yeah, this is like at the meeting of which call hunting made simple. Yeah, where he basically reveals some new information that apparently that Portuguese can swap bodies, and apparently he can be possessed as well. So basically, Gunji's idea: go back with the village first, then deal with the witch's cult. So basically, said have off to the capital because they can't exactly have all the go have the have go to the sanctuary. Of course, Rem basically is explaining this to Amelia. Puck himself basically shows up here. He doesn't do very much, but it's nice to see him. He also has this funny thing of basically going to Amelia's hair, which Amelia's like, why are you going to my hair for? Apparently he likes going there. So, well, of course, prior to this, you see her in bed, where she's basically worried about what happened in the capital, and what she said to Subaru. That's what's bothering her. But lucky enough that Wilhelm shows up, and him and Ram basically explain the situations he has to go. And Subaru shows up in disguise. Yeah, and this is quite interesting, though. This is the same outfit that she wore when she went to the village last. And the thing is, how he got this outfit is quite interesting, because they actually may not the continuity. He got this from her when she threw this at him. Apparently, she forgot about this particular robe that conceals identity. Okay. Also alters the voice. Like, to go here, and then, of course, like, he goes to the village and asks to go with the children, which they've been asked by Subaru to protect her, at least look after her. And then, basically, he kind of convinces them. Of course, they know this is Subaru. She doesn't. She does not know this is Subaru at all. And she agrees with it. And they recognize her. They don't. Apparently, it's revealed in this version of events that he practically went on his knees and begged the villagers for their help, and politely explained to them basically what's going on and asked them to leave. And they agreed. Yes, they agreed because of how much how much effort he's done for them. So they go basically the direction they're supposed to go, and of course Amelia goes with the children. And like with that out of the way, let's go out to Portuguese. Which this time he's not outside this time. Yeah, when he last encountered them, he was outside of his base. This time he's on top of the steps. And he's like, oh, hello Archbishop. I'd like to come with your fingers. Okay. And of course, he shows up as gospel. And he even has him basically, like, kind of trick him to where he kind of drags him out to this one particular place where he previously there before, thanks to Julius helping him. So he has all returned by death, and of course somehow he somehow gets Portuguese to possess him. Enough time to see the witch of lust, the sin of lust, basically see him and reject him, and then he gets killed by basically a rock avalanche that he causes. Yep. All unseen hand things are seen here, because of course they are. So, after that's done, he goes back to the it was like, hey, we caught a prisoner, and it's Otto. And apparently Otto has no idea who Subaru is, so Subaru later introduce himself. And though he figures out that apparently, and of course they also took down the merchant from the previous Superbag previously, though he doesn't remember him, and got pretty much taking him and the two witch cultists with him pretty easily. And that's how he found out about Portuguese's location. And apparently, there are some explosives in Amelia's cart we see here. So, Subaru is racing to get there. Of course, Portuguese basically just follows him. And of course, he also took his book as well. And then he sets him on fire. And apparently, somehow, he's still alive despite the fact he got crushed by a bunch of rocks. A bunch of big rocks that he caused. Oh yeah, and also when the Cat Twins saw him, they basically see him as a guy like sitting down, writing on air. Then he thought that was creepy. I thought it was quite funny. Yep. And then of course we also have then of course he gets burned while chasing Subaru and Otto. And eventually Subaru catches up to Amelia and basically sees her, and he rips some of the floorboards, takes a bag of explosives. She asks, "Why are you doing this?" Because I love you. And he basically gets on his land dragon and races his cave, throws the explosive in. Of course, his land dragon is perfectly fine. And then the episode ends basically with Subaru having lap time with Amelia, with having Amelia as a lap pillow. It's like, man, this lap pillow feels so warm and so soft. And he does confirm to her that he does indeed love her for like all the 2,000 reasons that he 10 thinks that he might, 100 reasons why that think he might hate her. Yep. And just no matter how long it takes, basically he'll wait till if she returns feelings to him. And that's kind of how the episode ends. A very nice note. Yeah. Though apparently they cut out the funny moment of the cat twins interacting with Puck. I'm surprised they cut that out. Maybe they'll have that saved for next season. That would be something basically to do. Yeah. Good set of episodes, though it doesn't finish that in book 9, per se. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't finish that in book 9, but I think this whole subplot of Save Amelia. Now, him confessing his feelings for her, that is not in the original. That did happen in the novel as well. But I think some of this plot of explosives, I think that probably was in the original because the novel hadn't been fully released yet at that point. Yeah. This first season overall was really good. And waiting 3.5 years to do another season, in my opinion, was actually a pretty smart move on White Fox to do. Why? Because there's only about 8 books released, and in the past, 3.5 years, there have been pretty much 13 books released. Yeah, 13 books. Not a bad amount. I highly doubt they could adapt all 13 books for next season. If I would take a guess how far they would adapt next season, well, the first thing I probably think they do is finish adapting book 9, and they probably adapt the 4th arc of the series. They probably just do the 4th arc, and that's just my personal theory. But they go from books 10 to 13. That's pretty much the 4th arc of the series. That's probably where they can adapt to. I don't know. It's just a possibility. It all depends whenever Season 2 gets released in July, which is in 2 months. Which makes it one of 3 series I'm looking forward to come out in July, along with Is It Wrong to Put Girls in Dungeon and Fire Force. In the case of these 3 series, for ReZero and Fire Force, it's their 2nd season. For Is It Wrong to Put Girls in Dungeon, this will be the 3rd season of the show, which I would look forward to basically reviewing when it comes out in July. Yeah, in case you're wondering how far I read into book 9, I only read up to chapter 5 of the book, because that's as far as the anime got to in this particular thing. Yeah, and I'm definitely looking forward to whenever Season 2 comes out. Now, my next review for this particular series, which I might not get a chance to do tonight, I'll probably save for tomorrow, be a review of the OVA for the series, and of course there's also the Kappa shorts, and there's some character one as well, which I'll look forward to doing those. Yeah, so you can probably expect right now about 3 more videos for this series. Now, as what anime I'm going to do next, it's probably going to be How to Not Summon Demon Lord. That'll probably be my next anime I'm going to do, because I'm also planning on doing that, and a couple others. But I'm not going to reveal exactly what they are, because last time I did that, I ended up not doing those particular series until recently this year, which 2 of those series basically I promised to do in 2019. I am doing this year, which was My Bride is a Mermaid and Goblins. There are 2 series I promised to do last year that I am doing this year. So right now I'm going to do 1 series. And of course, I guess the next one's going to be, like I said, How to Not Summon Demon Lord. The next anime I do review for. Of course, yes, I'm still doing reviews for Dragon Ball Z. I still got a while left to go for that, and once I run out of episodes for it, that's when I pretty much will kind of stop with it. The only thing I'll probably do with it is probably review the movies, which I've used some other time. Okay, so, and I have been checking to see when the new chapter comes out for Fire Force. I've been checking for the past week. Like, it's been a week since the last episode came out for the series, and 218 has not been released yet. I'm not sure why. It just hasn't been released yet. Yeah. So, in the case of videos today, this probably is the last one I do today, because I'm probably going to end up doing about 3 videos tomorrow, probably for this franchise, and maybe for Dragon Ball Z as well, and that's probably going to be it. Okay? So, until this next video, which will probably be tomorrow. Okay? Bye.